is CBS 4 News This Morning.
Well, hello there. It's 4:30, Monday, August 26th. I'm Maribel Rodriguez.
And I'm Lauren Pastrana. Thank you so much for joining us. Here are some of the stories making headlines this morning.
This morning, we're tracking Tropical Storm Dorian in the Atlantic. Let's hear with the details on its intensity and where it's heading next.
And we're not the only ones keeping an eye on the storm. So is the Miami Fire Department. It's preparing to deploy and help out Puerto Rico if needed.
Plus, he's one of America's most controversial sheriffs for his tough stance on immigrants and was once pardoned by President Trump. Now, Joe Arpaio is ready to run and seek his old job back.
But this morning, again, we are tracking the tropics. We are monitoring Tropical Storm Dorian as it moves across the Atlantic.
This morning, watches and warnings are in place across the Caribbean. CBS 4's meteorologist Esther Gonzalez joins us now with the latest. Esther, good morning.
Good morning, Maribel and Lauren, and good morning to all of you as Tropical Storm Dorian is headed towards the Lesser Antilles, and we take a look at the latest advisory that was issued by the Hurricane Center as of 2 a.m. Max sustained winds of 50 miles an hour. It's located about 270 miles east-southeast of Barbados, moving west at 14 miles an hour, and it is forecast to take a turn to the west-northwest and move across the northern Leeward and Windward Islands. As we get into Tuesday or Wednesday, there is a potential it could strengthen to a Category 1 hurricane, as it is possibly just south of or near Puerto Rico, and then once it begins to move towards Hispaniola, likely will be weakening since it'll be interacting with land. There's a lot of uncertainty with the forecast track and also the forecast of the intensity of Dorian, but as of now, the Hurricane Center is forecasting that it could weaken to a depression or an area of low pressure as we get into Friday and the weekend, but certainly one we will have to closely monitor, as well as our friends across the Lesser Antilles and the Caribbean. As you can see, most of the models in agreement that Dorian will continue on that west-northwesterly path and could be over the Bahamas as we get into Saturday and the weekend. We do have a tropical storm watches and warnings in place for Barbados, Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica, and thankfully locally right now we are quiet and dry. We did have some storms last night, and currently we're seeing storms on the west coast of the peninsula. Winds calm or light, and temperatures warm with the upper 70s, low 80s. So at the bus stop for now we're okay, but take the umbrella later this morning. A few showers, high soar to the low 90s, and scattered storms develop later on.
Let's say thank you. And this morning, people in Puerto Rico are preparing for Dorian, stocking up on supplies.
And they're not the only ones. The Miami Fire Department is also preparing, getting ready to head to the island to lend a helping hand. CBS 4's Ty Russell shows us how.
Chainsaw's ready to go.
A late Sunday night checklist at Miami Fire Rescue headquarters. The department was alerted by FEMA to be on standby. About 20 firefighters may be sent to Puerto Rico or the U.S. Virgin Islands Monday. They're preparing to help families get ready for the possibility of any impact from Dorian.
We want to make sure that the locals there get the most immediate assistance possible so that if there is any life-threatening situations, they can be treated and cared for accordingly.
A team of Miami firefighters is a part of what's called Florida Task Force 2. They respond to natural disasters or the possibility of one.
We are self-contained, and we don't have to rely on anybody but ourselves. We even bring our own medical equipment and a medical doctor with us.
Deadly Category 5 Hurricane Maria destroyed homes and businesses in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands September 2017. Since then, recovery has been ongoing, and many families were forced to leave and now call Florida home. And for the many families still there is a concern.
Try not to think of the bad, but there's always a worst case scenario. But our job is to always help, and that's what we're doing.
Some of these firefighters remember the devastation all too well because they helped Puerto Ricans and Texans after Hurricane Harvey in 2017. Now, once again, they're packing rescue and communications equipment along with boats, and they're ready to put their lives on the line to help those who may be in need.
And how is your family reacting to all of this?
They're used to it at this point. Myself, I've been on 20 deployments, so it's unfortunate that my wife and kids have to deal with it, but they understand.
Miami firefighters say Miami-Dade Fire Rescue also received that same alert from FEMA, so now they're all waiting to see if they will fly out to either Puerto Rico or the U.S. Virgin Islands today. And if they do, they don't know when they'll be back home. We are inside Miami Fire Rescue headquarters. I'm Ty Russell, CBS 4 this morning.
We're following breaking news. Pembroke Pines police tell us multiple people have been found dead inside of a home. This happened last night on the 1600 block of Southwest 156th Avenue. Police responded to a 911 call that said a man had murdered several family members and intended to kill himself. Police arrived and found several people who were shot dead. They also found a child inside the home who was taken to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. CBS 4's Riel Creighton is heading to the scene. Look for her live report coming up at 5.
2 people are dead and another in the hospital after a fiery crash on I-95. FHP says the crash happened in the northbound lanes of I-95 near 95th Street around 3 a.m. Sunday. They say an SUV was changing lanes and crashed into a sedan, causing that SUV to flip over and catch on fire. 2 people trapped inside the SUV did not survive. The driver in the sedan was taken to Jackson Memorial Hospital. No word on his condition. And 1 person is dead after a crash involving a Brightline train in Pompano Beach. Broward Sheriff's deputies say the train hit the car around 11:30 yesterday morning near Northeast 33rd Street and North Dixie Highway. The driver died on the scene. People who live nearby say these kinds of accidents are very upsetting.
I live on the other side of 3rd Avenue, and I heard the real big bang, and I came out, and one of the neighbors said they were coming through and a car hit a train. It's very, very, very disturbing, very upsetting. You know, this could have been a child got killed.
No one else was hurt in the crash.
This morning, the man accused of stabbing 3 people, killing 2 and wounding another sits in jail facing murder charges. Jason Roseman was transported to the Broward County Jail yesterday morning. Police say he stabbed and killed Hannah Bonta, her mother Jan Kirkland, shot their dog, and critically injured Hannah's boyfriend, Craig Newman. As Coconut Creek police responded to the scene, investigators say Roseman opened fire, injuring Officer Andrew Renna. Renna is recovering at North Broward Medical Center. Meantime, Hannah's friends are giving us an update on her boyfriend's condition.
Craig is a fighter, so he's made it out of his 2nd surgery, which is going to be his last.
Roseman is being held on no bond.
4:38 now. A controversial former sheriff who was pardoned by the president says he wants his old job back.
Plus, taking a dangerous turn, police in Hong Kong defending the actions of an officer who fired a gun in a clash with protesters.
And caught on camera, a strike from the sky sends several people to the hospital at the PGA tournament.
Yeah, anytime you hear thunder roaring outside, you want to go inside because it's just too dangerous, and we may see some thunderstorms later on. And also tracking Tropical Storm Dorian. I'll have the latest advisory and another area that has a high potential development in my complete forecast.